Hi, welcome back to Gershwinwoodcraft. It's been a long time since I've made a video, but in the last one I promised I wouldn't do another video until it was an actual how to make something video instead of something about tools or wood or picking the right pen kit. So today I'm going to go over how I make my little custom Xacto knives. The materials you're going to need for this project are going to of course start with the Xacto blade and a drill bit that matches the diameter of it, which for my Xacto blades is 24/64. A piece of wood. If you want a secondary color for the ferrule, you will want a self-centering chuck to mount the wood on your lathe, and however you want to cut the handle down, I'm using a Dremel. First thing we're going to have to do is unscrew the bottom from the Xacto blade, put the top aside, and we're going to want to cut this down so that we don't have to drill a hole for the entire length. We only need the threaded part. Now we're going to glue up all our pieces. Time to put on your protective gloves. Wanted to make a quick comment about that, some of my personal philosophies, such as the glove is not designed to keep your hands clean, but to keep everything you touch clean from the glue. So always be prepared to keep changing your gloves often, because if you get glue all over your gloves and then you go pick up one of your tools, you just get glue all over your tools. And the other thing I thought I'd show you is, this is my glue holder, because I spend so much time waiting for the glue to come to the point. So I quickly made myself a little holder like this, and I find that very helpful to keep the glue ready to rock at all times. So now you've cut down your Xacto knife, and you've cut your two complementary woods. So we're going to unscrew the knife. We want that part. We want this part. This part is important. You want to make sure it fits so that that little section there is sticking out of the wood, flush to the front. And this fits in there a little below the line. I'll explain that later. So now we'll take our epoxy. And we're just going to glue these in place. Okay, everything's glued up. I'm now going to go to the lathe to get to work on the fun stuff. Some people may notice that what we're turning on the lathe is not the same stuff you just saw me working on. I decided to get this prepped so that I can have one continuous shoot with my son. So these are now ready to turn, while the ones that you saw me gluing up, well, I'll turn those later. So you'll mount it loosely in here, and then slide this in. And once that's centered, you can lock it and then tighten this, and you'll know that you're going to be true to the axis of the hole you drilled. Now, for the sake of filming, I will not put that drop down. This is where I told you before, you want to be sunk just a little bit below the wood line so that you can be sure you true it up to the edge. Almost there. Obviously at this point you can refine the design however you want, and then sand it and polish it to whatever level you want for your workshop and your needs. I'm not going to waste your time with that now. Let's just go on to the next part. One thing I forgot to mention is you're going to need a threaded rod with a matching nut to go on the inside diameter of the front piece. For me, the Xacto knives I'm working with, a 1/4 inch threaded rod works perfectly. I put a little bushing on it to give me some room. I slide that in. It feels like it's screwing on, but it's just the glue holding it in place. That's nice and snug. Slide that in here. Once again, using this allows me to make sure everything stays nice and straight. You don't want to push it too hard because you don't want to bend anything. And now you just, it's very cramped here, but you can do it. And then we're going to turn after I remove the lock. Oh, that's looking beautiful. Okay, so now, before you do any more work, you're going to want to quickly test that it all fits together the way you want. That's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to just taper that down a little bit more, get a little more of a shape in here. Maybe I'll do a scallop. That'll actually be really cool for my finger to fit in there. So let's work on that. Finish polishing it, although I am going to put some urethane on it when I'm all done. That in there. That in there. And I must say, I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I like that new design, putting a little scallop in there. So now that you finished the knife, you don't have a cap for it anymore that fits, so you can just stick a piece of foam on it, but that's a pretty lousy way to present your final project. So what I do is I take some of the same wood and I quickly turn myself a base, a top out of the same opposing woods, take the piece of foam and stuff it in there, and now you have the ultimate desktop Xacto blade. Another successful project in Gershwin Woodcraft. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't hesitate to email me if you have questions. Please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.